On, everybody? What is going on? The Catch fam. Hope you guys are doing phenomenal tonight, man. Hope you guys have all had a great night. Hope you guys are ready to hop into a 2023 startup mock draft with rookies for the 2023 fantasy football season. We're going to have a great time tonight. We're going to talk some fantasy football. You know what it is. We've got Steven in the building for his first ever startup mock draft in preparation for our coming Catch Fam Dynasty leagues. How are you feeling, Steven?
Definitely feeling a little raw, man. Feeling a little scared, as my hair probably indicates. A little chaotic right now. A little like a lightning bolt hit me. A lightning bolt of excitement, lightning bolt of nerves. I'm excited. These first few rounds, I think we're gonna see what happens with me, and then getting closer to the end of the draft, maybe we'll take a little bit of a tutorial approach for some of my late round picks if I need it. But in any event, yeah, definitely excited for it. The practice is going to be well needed because I'm going to kick some ass this season, man. I was a beast in our redraft last year, so
yeah, you did better than me.
I'm coming for Dynasty this year.
Yeah, man. So for those of you guys drafting with us, we're going to kick off right at 8:05 p.m. Eastern time, just to give everyone another minute or two to get in here. I'll go ahead and send out one last warning on Discord, and then we'll get rocking and rolling here. I'm super stoked as always to draft with you guys tonight, man. Excited to see what Steven puts together tonight. And let's do it. Box in the Jack, Godfather in the building. Appreciate you guys being here, man. Let's do it. Hop in the live chat, guys. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, of course, if you're new to the channel, and let us know what's going on. Let us know how everyone's doing, man. So Steven, we haven't really got to talk about free agency yet. So
yeah, definitely a lot of stuff going through day after day, it seems like, man.
Biggest reaction in terms of free agency, what comes to mind for you?
Oh, dude, it's Matt Gay going to the Colts for sure.
Oh, nice. Nice.
That's definitely the best move I've seen this offseason. It's going to really add some firepower to the Colts. He'll definitely be our scoring leader next year, I'm sure. I mean, I think, there's been I think a big loss was Gardner Johnson for the Eagles. I think that's going to end up being a big one. But, the one that I'm still pending is kind of just to see what ends up actually officially happening with Aaron Rodgers. There it is. That's the sound.
The sound has begun, ladies and gentlemen. Rodgers going to the Jets, man.
I think so too. I think how much do you think they actually end up fleecing from the Jets though? Because he did put them in a little bit of a bad bind.
You mean in terms of like what do you think the Jets get in return of a trade?
No, what do you think the Packers get in return? Yeah, because I mean, I think Aaron Rodgers actually ended up putting the Packers in a little bit of a power play spot there because now they kind of hold all the leverage there, so to speak. But I was also going to say the one of the huge acquisitions that I thought was really going to help out is the Cincinnati Bengals just keep getting stronger on the offensive line, which no matter what they do to the team on the offensive line side of it seems to still be weak, and Joe Burrow gets hit a billion times.
I know, because this is what we said last offseason. Yeah. Like they bolstered up that offensive line, and then it didn't really feel like it changed too much. Yeah.
But it was a great signing. Great signing.
Sure. You're on the clock, by the way. I'm gonna be keeping an eye on things for you. So just so you know, 30 seconds. Chase.
Yeah, I'm taking my guy.
You do love Jamar. You do love Jamar.
I'm taking my guy Jamar. If my team freaking sucks, as long as I got the swag with Jamar Chase, that's all I care about at the end of the day, baby.
It is interesting because like when I'm putting together a dynasty team, like part of building my squad, I keep telling our community is like, I do kind of want to just draft players that I like. Like, I know it's like kind of stupid, but at particular points, I'm like, I just like that player.
I mean, if they're going to be with you, right? Like, I don't want to be looking at some like, vanilla type of guy who, gets the job done. Not to hate on your boy, but maybe like a kind of a Josh Jacobs, what he was the prior years before last year where he went berserk. But I don't want some boring vanilla guy who's just going to get me that kind of average Soham points. I want a guy who's going to gonna be a fun one to watch with Jamar Chase.
Are you calling Jacobs vanilla?
I mean, he might be vanilla next year, man. He's gonna get the contract extension, and now he's good to go, bro.
You're kind of in an interesting spot here because typically in the first round, we probably would see Deshaun Watson and or Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson, one of the rookie quarterbacks off the board. So you sitting here, go Kyler. I don't hate the Kyler move at all.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for next season, though.
It is. Age 25, going into his fifth season. I love the value of Kyler. Usually Kyler falls back a little bit further to the end of the second, sometimes even beginning of the third, because people just have those kind of short-term doubts. But I don't have a problem going with Kyler at all at 2.3. But the thing to keep in mind is, like, because he is going to miss time next year, you kind of have to come out of your draft. And I've done like numerous startup mocks where I draft Kyler.
You gotta get 3.
You gotta get like 3 to 4 is the thing, because you think about it in a super flex league, you probably already need 3 quarterbacks. So him, missing time, you probably need 4. But I don't think Bryce Young here. But go ahead, you're starting another thought there.
No, I was just gonna say I kind of already came into it with a strategy of kind of loading them on quarterbacks to the end that could be serviceable. But I was actually pretty happy with Kyler Murray. I mean, and I shit on him quite a bit, but at the end of the day, like, he is a superstar type of player. And with the transition to the head coach, that was definitely the biggest toxic cloud and maybe all of the NFL in terms of a bad head coach. I think Kyler's future is definitely promising. And I'll be honest, I think it's a hell of a lot more promising than any of the rookie quarterbacks.
That's fair. I think that's fair.
So, I mean, while it might be attractive to go after a guy like Bryce Young, I would definitely rather have him than a guy like Deshaun Watson, because in my opinion, that guy should be out of the league in the next year or two. Talent-wise, he has not been looking good last season. But hey, who knows? He might be back next year. He might be back, but it's going to be rough.
Watson's interesting because he's 27 going into his 7th season, but because he had that, time period where he was not playing, it feels like he's younger. You know what I mean?
It does.
So
he just looked like it. I mean, he looked like he hadn't played football in a long time.
Sure. Yeah. I don't disagree. He's not my favorite. I do think if you're at the end of the first round and you're kind of in a position where you're forced to go double quarterback, it's okay to go Watson, but you got to take someone who gives you a little bit of upside. Even Kyler Murray, but probably one of those rookies, Young, Stroud, Richardson. But it's interesting landing spots tonight. Young goes at 2.9, Stroud goes at 3.5, Richardson goes at 3.6. We've seen those 3 guys go anywhere from like 1.10 to end of the 3rd round. So it really just depends on who you're drafting with and what specific draft strategy they're going after. Albert asks, where do you think DeAndre Hopkins ends up? I wanted it to be the Chiefs, but I don't quite know.
Yeah. I think it is going to be with a big time I got to lock in here.
I hope it's with a contender. Like, if DeAndre Hopkins goes to the Patriots, like, I know he's got a good relationship with Bill Belichick, but I would just hate that. It's just like so incredibly underwhelming that I just would hate that. As long as he goes to a contending team, like even if he were to go to the Cowboys, like that would have been fine with me. Obviously, I don't think he's going to now because Brandon Cooks is there, but I just don't want to see Hopkins on a bad team. I don't want to see him on a team similar to the Cardinals. I want to see him be able to have a chance to win a Super Bowl ring. So I hope it's the Chiefs, but who knows, right? So many teams could benefit from him. So Steven goes with Cup there.
Yeah, I didn't love the pick, but
I could tell you're sweating, bro.
He'll make up for the points from Kyler being gone. He'll add me a little bit more points in the non-quarterback position there.
Yeah, you're about to be on the clock, so I won't dig into anything too deep here. But listen, Cup is still age 29, going into his 7th season. We've seen him land a little bit closer to the end of the 4th, beginning of the 5th, depending on the mock. But right, we're playing 3 receivers. Okay, you already have Jamar Chase, so you're sitting in a position where you have a receiver going to his 3rd season who is just like strapped, like exactly what to expect out of Jamar Chase, easily a 1st-round pick. So adding Cup, assuming he comes back healthy, I don't have a problem with it per se. Although I would personally go for a younger receiver. The argument is you do have Chase there. And Will Levis. Levis.
Oh man, the draft is starting to go off the hinges here, man.
Yeah, I can sense your but it's your first one. So
I wanted to take Trey Lance there pretty bad. I will say
yeah.
that. I wanted to take Trey Lance, but I'm
Okay.
still not too sure if he's gonna play.
Well, you definitely have some recency biasy there because that was your guy last offseason.
Yeah, I bit the bullet on that one. So now I'm a
Yeah,
little bit more hesitant, a little bit more gun shy from taking him again,
that
especially
makes
in a
sense.
dynasty setup where I've got to
Yeah.
be hooked to him for that long.
I'm not. I'm a little worried about him, to be honest. I'm a little bit worried about
I
him.
am. I am too. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy just ends up being like traded to another team at some point for like a second or third round draft pick and never really ends up playing for the 49ers because I mean, I think it is Brock Purdy's job as long as he comes in and he is healthy. I don't think Brock's going to lose the job. He's definitely a proven winner and has the locker room, and George Kittle especially.
I'm with you there. I still think as long as Purdy can play, I know like it's a weird injury. It's a weird timeline we're looking at here. But if Purdy can play, I do think he's the guy.
Yeah.
So I'm with you there. Taylor, what's going on? Jano's in the house. What's up? What's up? Good to see you. Appreciate you hanging out tonight. Emil, what's going on at work? Just wanted to stop by, show some love to Catch Fam. I appreciate you. We both appreciate you stopping by. Hope work is going okay. We got Thomas in the house listening from work. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in while you're.
Forget the boss man. You got the catch and you got some fantasy football.
That's right. Thomas, I did see you post this on Discord, Mel Kiper's NFL mock draft you did today. I think, realistically, you could see the Hawks take Richardson and JSN land to you guys at number 20.
That'd be incredible.
Yeah, but I personally don't think that you guys are going to draft a quarterback in the first round. And I'm not sure if Richardson's going to fall out of the top 4 personally. So I don't I don't listen to people like Mel Kiper. I just don't.
Yeah, I don't put much stock into what he says either.
Yeah, personally, I don't. But it did look like an intriguing mock draft overall. I just don't put a lot of merit into like mock drafts. Like I'd rather listen to some random YouTuber do an NFL mock draft than someone like Mel Kiper. Because it just feels like those analysts are like always so far off,
Well, I mean, I think part of their mock drafts is to stir up a little bit of kind of excitement and immediately to get kind of the Stephen A. Smiths or whoever to kind of respond to them. And at the end of the day, these mock drafts are so fluky because you can only account for trades that much. And I mean, this year is going to see an absurd amount of trades, I'm sure. I mean, we've already got one big time trade that happened with that boy DJ Moore going to Chicago, which is going to be fun for sure for Justin Fields. But I mean, the trades definitely mix up the mock draft so much. Anthony Richardson, though, man, he would be great to sit behind Geno.
I completely agree. I think it'd be a great spot for Richardson and kind of a great way for the Seahawks to turn a new leaf when they feel like they need to move on from Geno as well. But we'll see what happens. And I think I love the Seahawks receiving core, but obviously Lockett and even at times Metcalf have had some injury history. So they haven't really had anything behind those two guys. So it wouldn't hurt to go JSN as well. Taylor was debating Watson or Pitts there. Let's see. That was at 4.7. Okay, so and then J-Dub says I was taking Pitts if he didn't. So no matter what, we're going to see Pitts and Watson right off the board there. So all right. So Stephen takes T-Hawk here. I love the pick personally. I have a lot of conviction in Hawkinson, but he very rarely has like fallen to me in drafts or in startup drafts, I should say. Age 25 going into his 5th season. I think in like redraft formats, Hawkinson is really creeping up my boards going into next
redraft
season.
Definitely, but I think with the contract they gave Hawk, I think he's going to be a big time player for them, and I'm really hoping somebody falls to me right here. This is part of my strat here, so let's see if this goes. This is not a good decision here, but I've got a decision that I want to lock up.
I'm in anticipation here as the clock. There goes Goff. I'm interested to see.
Now that the fact that it's just like sitting there for me, I'm kind of backpedaling because I do also realize how empty I am at the running back position. You know what?
Yeah.
Screw it. Sticking with my strat. Kirk
Cousins.
Cousins,
Okay.
baby. Kirk Cousins, baby.
Locking up the stack for a year to 2 years. Right.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. So Cousins, I mean, I'm not gonna not again. Like, listen, like you're going to need ammo at quarterback, especially with Kyler being on your roster. So, like, just being in a position where you go ahead and you start shoring up your quarterback position at 6.3 here. Like, you're not going to draft again for quite a while, right? You don't
Yeah,
have another pick
very
till
long time.
7.10. So, uh, it's very possible that you see multiple quarterbacks start to go off the board before you draft again. So let me take a quick look here. There's a lot of players sitting here that I like a lot.
I'm gonna take the dynasty approach at the running back spot to just recycle the running back position with the old heads, man. Get usage on a year-to-year basis,
Well,
man.
the one thing I will say, because I've been basically neglecting the running back position until like the eighth or ninth round, sometimes sixth or seventh, I'll take one, but it's such a deep rookie class at the running back position, and it's kind of tough right now because it is so deep. Like, if some of these guys go to the wrong team, they're going to be like in a position like Spiller was for the Chargers last year, where he just did not
Well,
get
Spiller
any.
just wasn't even good, man. Every time they gave him a chance, he freaking
That's true.
stumbled, dude.
But coming out of the combine, like he was a
Oh
very
yeah,
high
yeah,
rated running back and everything. So it's hard to read right now. Luckily, we're conducting our draft after the NFL draft. But yeah, it's just a tough read. But there's so many good rookie running backs in this class, and there's so many good rookie tight ends. And even the receiver class is pretty deep. And you don't always see like 3 to 4 quarterbacks come out of a draft as well that could see playing time in their rookie season. And so it's a pretty loaded rookie class all around. So,
yeah.
um,
Sometimes with the quarterback position, I mean, you'll see them get the playing time in their rookie season, but they don't necessarily deserve it, right? Like, and
sure,
this year, I think these guys all are going to deserve it. I mean, a guy that I drafted, Will Levis. I think he is somebody that I'm probably the least high on, but you still need to get him out there and kind of get him. I would say with him and him especially, actually, I would rather get him experience like day one just to get this guy polished as soon as you can. Anthony Richardson, I think, can definitely take a big leap if he can stay back for a year and just kind of observe things. But Will Levis has a bunch of really attractive tools, especially with the big arm. But I want to see more heady plays from him, more IQ plays from him, and I want to see him get game experience. So we're
sure.
definitely going to see at least three of those guys get a lot of playing time year one.
Where do you think Levis lands?
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
He
tough.
does fit in the indie in terms of like the
Uh,
culture type of mindset
yeah, yeah,
there,
yeah,
but I don't know. I think it's going to be outside the top four, top five, probably. And somebody's going to jump in.
yeah. Could be the Raiders.
Well,
Could
the
be the
Raiders when they
Falcons.
lock up Jimmy G, I don't know, man.
Well,
But yeah,
they might want to have a bridge quarterback in Garoppolo, then let someone sit behind him. Or
yeah.
the Raiders are. I don't know, man. It's just such a weird situation because it's like I feel like they just kind of like swapped quarterbacks of the same value, so to speak. Like two guys who just aren't really going to get you over that major hump, so to speak. Going from Carr to Garoppolo, and I love me some Jimmy G. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. How could you
Eh,
not if you look at him, man?
right, right, right. So, okay. Mock draft's moving quickly tonight. Already wrapping up the seventh round here. So you go with Jordan Addison there. I like that pick a lot. I think
Love
it's a
Jordan
great
Addison,
value.
man. I've
Yeah,
loved him for a while now.
yeah. I
Ever
think it's a
since
good pick.
I mean, he was a beast at Pittsburgh, transferred over to USC, was an absolute dog. But I mean, even though he had an NFL type of quarterback at both universities, he's a stud with both of them. I think he's going to be one of the most explosive players once he hits the league, man.
Yeah, for sure. When you look at some of these top receivers, and once again, like we're just really fortunate that we're doing our startup draft for our leagues after the NFL draft because there's going to be some absolute studs out of this receiving class, just like there was last year, and honestly, like in the last couple of years as well. So, I went JSN at 5.4. Who's it's a hefty price
Hell
to
yeah,
pay.
man. He's
Yeah,
amazing, bro. Guy's
yeah.
wicked good, dude.
But I would argue like as much as I like I had to take a rookie because I went Devonte Adams. Like and playing three receivers, two flexes, right? I don't mind having a veteran in there, especially of Adams or Diggs caliber, right? Who both went at the end of the fourth there. like I knew I had to take a rookie receiver on top of Chris Olave just to bring some youth to the roster, right? And I would almost argue that Quentin Johnston at 6.7 to Taylor or Jordan Addison at 7.10 to yourself are better values than going JSN at 5.4. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, but I think JSN is going to have the opportunity as long as he lands in the right spot to be like next year's. I honestly think, oh, well, he has the chance to definitely be better than Garrett Wilson. So, like, he has next chance to at least be next year's Garrett Wilson. And I would love to have that guy for the next 10 plus years, right?
sure.
And there's definitely just due to the way that this draft is comprised, there's a good chance this guy falls, 15, 20 plus picks down the road, which is in a great situation. Like if he did land, I think I saw like there was a draft if he landed with like Tennessee, like he's instantly the top receiver there. And if he can somehow land back, I know like some of the big boys, the playoff teams, obviously put him in a great position to be with one of the top quarterbacks.
For sure. Interesting question here for you. Tyler Lockett or Mike Williams?
Dude, I would honestly go. It's tough. It's honestly tough. I would go with Lockett because I don't trust Mike Williams like at
Right.
all. Like even in a redraft, like I don't trust him. So how could I trust this guy in a dynasty format? Because he's just some people just have the history of being injured and it's never going to change, right? And like DeAndre Swift, I'm not drafting him because and I'm sorry, J Dub, I see you grabbed him there, but I'm just scared of him, and I'm definitely scared of him in a dynasty format because he's just going to continue and continue and continue to be delegated to that kind of that third down role only, Swiss Army knife type of back.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of add another veteran receiver here, and it was Lockett or Williams. And Williams is younger; he's 2 years younger, but
Lockett don't take hits, man. He falls down. He catches it and falls, man. Mike Williams falls like a ton of bricks.
Yeah. Man, I wanted Algier here. Oh,
yeah,
tough.
that's a nice pick. But what round did they draft him? Was it 4th or 6th round? I mean, some of those guys, you get late round draft picks. Those guys don't hang around for too long.
That can be true. I'm going to take my second tight end here. And
Evan Engram.
Oh yeah.
Nasty boy. Oh dang, dude. That was a good pick. That's who I wanted.
I wanted White here.
I wanted White to actually be like my lead back, dude.
Sure.
I need some back at this point, but
yeah, I mean, there's plenty of value at running back left. So long ways to go in the draft. By the way, guys, we usually do 10 rounds for our dynasty mocks, but just to keep things on schedule for both Steven and myself, it's just 8 bench spots. I think I said 10 rounds. I'm going to say 10 bench spots. But just so you guys know, you're going to have 2 less players than you're used to. So just keep that in mind as well. Okay. We'll see what Steven does here. By the way, I do like the Godwin pick. Like, if you're going for kind of that tier of receivers, looking at veteran-esque players, like Godwin, Lockett in the 8th round, I think are good moves. Godwin, age 27, going to his 7th season. Gonna have Baker throwing them the football. That's the way he's looking right now. I still think Godwin.
But Baker's good for those kind of receivers, the kind of short to intermediate guys. I mean, if anything, he could really damage Mike Evans' value in a redraft.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about Evans, but I don't know how worried I am about Evans. Evans has played with back quarterbacks before, but he's just it's the same argument every year. And Evans did regress a little bit this past season.
Yeah, he regressed pretty terribly. Yeah, having him last year was horrible, man.
Yeah, statistically, it wasn't too awful.
Well, take that one game away from him at the end of the season.
True.
Yeah, his numbers are looking very sus.
That's true. It takes away 207 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. So,
yeah.
If he didn't have that game, he'd have 3 touchdowns and under 1,000 receiving yards on the year. So that's actually a very fair point. You're right. And it just felt like Brady wasn't targeting him as much. He became he was on my X list for pick'ems and prize picks. I was I just can't trust him at all. So
he became a little unreliable, to be honest.
Sure. And Godwin was very, very reliable. So Thomas, y'all see Cam Newton how to work out. I did see parts of it. And I think the main reason he was there is because he was throwing to his brother, who is actually, if he does get drafted, he'll be a very late round draft pick. But out of I don't remember if he went to William Mary or Auburn. I think he went to William and Mary. So I think that had
Cam Newton's boy did? What?
his brother. Yeah, yeah.
That's sick, yo.
Yeah, no, that'd make you happy, William and Mary alum over there. I think that had more to do with anything. I don't think Cam Newton's actually trying to make a comeback, but I think he's just, marketing it as such. But I didn't see like a ton of glimpse into what the workout was. Really, just saw a couple highlights. So you guys tell me if you know more than I do there. Boss man, how do you become a member? So if you are on the YouTube, if you have the stream pulled up, there's multiple ways to do it. There's a link in the description down below. There's like a button you can hit that says join right to the right of our logo and subscriber count and all that. And there's even a way you can do it in the chat as well. So let me make this draft pick very quickly here. I can come back to that for you, my dude. I'm going to take Aaron Jones here. He's just falling back really, really, really far back in Dynasty mocks right now.
Very frustrated that David Montgomery went.
Yeah. Monty and Sanders are kind of like hot commodities right now.
Dude, I want Montgomery so bad, dude. Like he's going
I would
to
say
be a stud. Yeah.
Yeah, you would have had to go Monty at 9.10 or 10.3 for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I got to think about what I'm going to do here. I'm pretty okay at receiver. We got 2 veterans, got 2 young guys. I'm pretty okay at quarterback here. By the way, I like Kenny Pickett in Dynasty. I don't know if we've talked about this, but I'm a fan of Pickett.
I think he showed a lot of chops for future growth there. I mean,
sure.
Brock Purdy, I like a lot too. I think that's a good value pick. He could easily be their guy the next 10 years.
Oh, for sure, for sure. My conflict here was, do I go Pickett at 7.4 or do I hold off? And
for Brock?
Yeah, and I decided to go with Pickett.
I don't love that pick.
Of Cook, yeah.
I hate the Bills, bro. I hate the Bills.
That's fair. That's fair.
He's so talented, though.
There are other running backs that I really like sitting here that I would kind of put in the same tier as James Cook. And I go after A.J. Dillon quite a bit in these mocks, but because I went Aaron Jones, just diversified a little bit there. But the main reason I went for Cook is just because of the youth, right? But there are other players on the board at the position that I would put in a very similar overall tier to Cook. But that I love James Cook going into last season. And I think part of that conviction is just bleeding over as well. So we'll see what happens. Let's see. J-Dub says, I got a plan, Steven. Don't worry, it's PPR. There we go. Boss man, I don't wish drafting at the 1.12 on my worst enemy. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, we had the debate in the leagues. Are we going to do 3rd round reversal or not? You guys voted on no 3rd round reversal. If you do pick at the end of the draft, it's a little bit tougher. I'm not complaining too much because I have the 1.4, but yeah, it is a little bit tougher. The different strat for sure. Boss man, I'm struggling with these picks like never before. Just a quick glance, your team looks okay, actually. Need a little bit of tight end depth, maybe a little bit more quarterback depth, but like overall, I think your team looks all right. It's shored up with some rookies as well. Bossman says, I've never cared for Cooks as a player prospect. Yeah, I like Cooks. I don't know why. It's just one of those
he's so good, man. He's consistent. He's such a good deep threat player. So like I feel like he's not like a super exciting guy, but he is gonna have those games where he has like a 60-yard touchdown, which is
he's talking up. I think he's talking about James Cook. Yeah.
Oh, but James Cook. Yeah. James Cook is he's a stud, but he just doesn't get the work.
Okay, I need to quickly look here. I feel like there was another question I was about to ask you, but I need to like throw together half of a queue just to make sure I'm paying attention here. There's one player in particular, maybe 2 that I'm interested in.
CEH?
No, but I do think that Clyde Edwards-Helaire actually holds some good value at the end of the draft because he's so young and he's probably going to get traded. Or cut for that matter, but
definitely won't finish there.
Oh, he's only 23. This is my value pick right here is Kenneth Gainwell.
Oh my gosh! Whoa,
I love that pick, dude. I listen. I think Penny is going to be a factor for sure, just the way that offense is ran. But Gainwell's my guy. Like
I didn't
everyone
even
draft.
see him.
Yeah, he is further down the list, and it's like the Eagles are going to run the football next year, guys. Like,
Dude, he was a
uh,
stud.
oh, for sure, for sure. While quarterbacks are officially in the questionable range, we got staph infection, Hendon Hooker, for some reason Brady, Malik Willis, Tannehill, Zach Wilson, Stetson Bennett, Max Duggan. I think if you're going to take a late last round flyer on a rookie quarterback, it's Max Duggan for me. Um,
No, bro. Malik, dude, Hooker is a dog, bro. Hendon
well,
Hooker was so good for Tennessee.
Hendon Hooker will be gone before the last round. Duggan will probably still be around. I do agree Hooker is worth a shot at a particular point in your draft for sure. Not even close. I got to take a look here at just like who do I think is the best available players. Romeo Dobbs is off the. Oh, there are two guys I want right here. I did not know were available. Oh yeah, I'm going to be happy with this next pick. But there's one guy I'd be a little bit happier with. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more selections. Everybody, make sure you guys are building your queue, paying attention, seeing what's going on. And I'm on the board. I'm taking my boy Alan Lizard off the board. Let's
Oh,
go.
great pick. Great pick.
Yeah, I love that pick.
What do you think of him in New York? With and without. Let's say without Rodgers.
Far lower on him. If Rodgers
like honestly, that could be a rough pick if you didn't have Rodgers.
Oh yeah. Far. The other guy I really like, and Michael and I have a lot of similar taste in drafting, conviction, similar guys. I love Zay Jones at the end of draft.
Really?
I also love Christian Kirk, who Michael, like I just counted Christian Kirk off my board because Michael's going to take him before I can. Most of the time, Boss Man takes Gainwell off the board before I can too. Another guy I love is Isaiah Pacheco, who if he just doesn't land, it's just hard to shore him up. So, but yeah. I love Zay Jones and Alan Lazard towards the draft. But 110%, man, if Rodgers – and Rodgers is going to be there, right? But if Rodgers is not there, my conviction on Lazard drops very drastically. But, yeah, security blanket for Rodgers for the next, let's say, 2 years at least the next year. I do like Lazard as a player. So, Albert asks, Lord Bighead, who's your biggest winner in free agency so far? Matt Gay. Right? Dude, I was actually like super excited that you guys drafted Matt Gay.
Let me get to that right after this pick here.
Yeah,
but yeah, dude,
sure.
that was actually a dope pick, bro. And that was so funny because it was just right on me, dude. I loved it, dude. It was all right. Here we go. All right, here we go, baby.
I think Stafford was a pretty good. Oh, you got Connor too. I like that pick for you. I think Connor's a pretty good value at where he's going as well. But yeah, getting that fourth quarterback, even if you're only able to play Stafford for like, I don't know, a year or two, I think it helps you a lot. Donta Foreman's a decent pick there too.
I like Donta Foreman.
I was wondering if you're going to take another running back because you and I are both sitting pretty thin here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm kind of drawing a little bit of a blank here, but one move I did like a ton was going out and grabbing Jalen Ramsey for the Dolphins. Because the Dolphins defense was a little sus at times. And I think bringing in a guy like Jalen Ramsey not only, instantly upgrades that defense, but brings a huge presence into the locker room. And now you're getting to go up against a guy like, the Bills twice a year with Josh Allen. You need a stud corner who can make turnovers because Josh Allen creates turnovers left and right. We saw Sauce kind of have Josh Allen's number last year at times. That's what Jalen Ramsey is going to do. And him and Howard are going to be lockdown players. Stephon Diggs is going to have a problem. I think this really puts the Dolphins in a really good position to be in the driver's seat for the AFC East. I had a future on them last year, which didn't pay out for them to win that division because they kind of choked at the end. But if you look at the Dolphins as a whole, as long as Tua is good to go, that acquisition of Jalen Ramsey puts them in a fantastic spot, I think.
I mean, that's why you hated the Bills all last season is because you just were rooting for the Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean, but also just because a step further, like if you look at some of those really explosive offenses that are in the league, like when you've got this secondary coming into the playoffs, imagine going up against Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey. Like, yikes, yo. And Jalen is such a dog in the slot as well when they move him in there. That could be a problem.
I really wanted to see if Dawson Knox would fall out here. I think Knox is a great. I mean, I'm okay with coming out of the draft with just two tight ends, but if he had fallen there, I would have been like super happy. But I'm going to receive Rice here. There's a couple other receivers who people might have above him, but I think Rice is a great prospect and had a really good combine as well. So I'm happy with him there, and that kind of shores up my receiver room for the night. I'm actually interested to get your thoughts on Alec Pierce. You know, being that you're a loyal Colts fan. Because I do think that Colts go into this, or excuse me, Alec Pierce going into his second season, age 22, super young, showed some promise in his first year. Just didn't really have any consistent
Oh, I
quarterback
love
play.
him. I love him.
Yeah, I think if the Colts hit on the right quarterback in the next year or two, like he could be a huge, especially in full PPR. So I think when you look at the age and just his value at his current ADP, I think he holds some pretty decent value overall.
I definitely think that I almost took Alec Pierce where I had Deontay Foreman, but I wanted to shore up the running back room a little bit. But I'm a big fan of Alec Pierce. He impressed me a little bit more than I was expecting that rookie year, especially with how bad a quarterback room we had. Who knows what the hell we're going to end up doing, obviously, but I do think in the future we're going to have a lot more consistency at the quarterback, on a 5-year outlook. And I think Alec Pierce is going to be around for the long run. And I mean, he's the deep threat on this offense. I mean, Michael Pittman, you kind of think that he is, but Alec Pierce is actually the better deep threat efficiency wise at the receiver spot. And we'll see what we do in terms of adding players in. I mean, we got Isaiah McKenzie, which I thought was a great pickup, but I think Alec Pierce is going to be around for a while.
You see, I kind of looked at Pierce as more of like a slot, like possession.
We look at it, but know why you look at him like that, because but he's really not. Like you look at him like that because he's a gritty white guy. He's Julian Edelman, but he's not. He's an outside receiver.
You make a good point too with you guys signing McKenzie. What was that, today or yesterday?
Yeah, I think it was today.
It was today. Yeah, I mean he's going to be the slot guy, so that should help Pierce quite a bit actually, especially if Pittman can keep up good play. So.
What do you think about the Texans mess, real quick, John?
Which part of it?
Well, I mean, just that the Pierce bus might be taking a little bit of a hit.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
That was an accident right there.
Yeah, well, you got to run for on your team. It's okay. Pierce will be fine. I think it actually could help him because now the Texans are a little bit less likely to draft or spend higher draft capital on a running back. So I think it could help him out a little bit because Singletary is like the most mediocre running back in the entire NFL. I think I think that Dameon Pierce doesn't necessarily bring upside per se, but he brings a little bit more umph overall. So I'm a bigger fan of him as a prospect of it, just as a player, I guess I should say in general. But I think Dalton Schultz is going to hate his life for a year and hope. I mean, he might just play bad on purpose just to go to a different team. Let me go make this pick very quickly. And
he's probably going to see high usage. It might not be the most attractive usage, but we saw the Texans, be scrappy at times, and I think Dalton Schultz is a perfect safety blanket for a rookie quarterback. So I think he'll do pretty good. And if he does get good chemistry with the rookie quarterback, I could easily see the Texans coming back and giving him a long-term deal just to kind of keep that rookie growth at the QB position.
Sure. Gosh, what were we about to talk about before you rudely interrupted me?
I think you were going after a comment.
Oh, you're right. Thank you. Albert, I saw a report that the Browns are trying to trade for Jerry Jeudy. Yeah, so Judy's been on the. Actually, I've heard that Judy, Sutton, and Hamler are all on the trade block. So we'll see what happens, right? I mean, there's going to be a lot of speculation this time of year and everything. I'm just really torn on this pick right here, guys. I'm sorry. There's more than one player that I like right here. And
John, I'll just jump in real quick while you're doing that. And I'll just say that what I've been noticing with the Broncos, honestly, I think they're a team that's really improving. And that might not be a very popular thing, but while it does seem like they may be trimming some skill guys, they are really bolstering the line. And I think that's a really pointed attack by Sean Payton to say, we're going to need to put Russell Wilson into a position where he was not last year, which was a guy that was getting hit all over the place, and the offensive line was not that great. We're going to bolster it, make Russell Wilson's life a little bit easier. And yeah, shoot, shop all those receivers because honestly, they were all hot garbage last season,
Yeah.
with or without Russell Wilson. So I think the Broncos have been a little bit of a winner this year in terms of the offseason. And, they're started from behind with Russell Wilson. Obviously, at quarterback, that's never a good situation. But
No, I agree. I think if they're, I don't know. I just think that if they're going to hold on to one receiver, it should be Jerry Jeudy personally. But I don't think it's
I do
too.
too if he can stay healthy.
Sure, sure. I think for them to go out and test the market is fine, though. I've also heard that the Patriots are heavily tied to Jerry Jeudy, but they have not been wanting to pay the price that the Broncos want for Jerry Jeudy as well. So we'll see what happens. But I did see similar reports as well, Albert. So Tom's like the A-Rod Lazard stack late in Dynasty. Yeah, I'm not against it. I do like Rodgers. I mean, in any super flex format. But he went at 8.6 tonight. So I will say I like him the best as like your QB3. Like so Michael took Fields, Rogers, Hooker, and White. So that automatically puts Rogers in a position where he's your QB2. I just think long term, like if Hooker doesn't work out, for example, like you're going to be looking for another quarterback, right? So, but I'm totally not against Rogers being part of your game plan in the startup mock at all. I'm a little bit torn with this next pick because I kind of want to just get like a young. I mean, I have a young tight end, but like add one more tight end just for depth here. But there's just nobody available that really like speaks to me, especially with Bellinger off the board there and Kate Otten already gone. Those are like my late round guys. So Gesicki, Everett, Ertz, Jawan Johnson. There are a couple of rookies here, Mallory and Kraft, that are okay in my eyes. But I could get crazy and go Taysom Hill, but I just don't. Yeah, there's just nobody here that like speaks to my soul except for maybe Adam Trotman. But
I don't mind the Everett pick.
Well, the thing is, he might not be back with the Chargers.
He's still a Swiss. I think he's still probably the most. I guess you're right.
I'm
I
gonna
mean, I
take
definitely
Deuce
am
Vaughn.
not taking Gesicki. Yeah, Deuce Vaughn's a good
No.
pick.
I'm surprised Vaughn lasted to the.
He's so
18
small though, bro. Backs
He is
like
tiny.
backs that size don't last in the NFL.
Yeah, he's a little
Short
guy.
man discrimination.
Yeah. He's a little guy. So, but I like him there at 18.9. I think that's actually a good value. And I kind of needed because I got Jones, Cook, Gainwell, and I love Dwayne McBride in the drafts. Carter. So that's where I was struggling there. When I was looking at who was available, Rashad Penny sitting there was really intriguing, especially already having Gainwell. And then I like McIntosh a lot as well, who's available, and I like Vaughn. So I'm actually happy that Vaughn fell out and I was able to get Carter. Just God forbid anything happens to Penny, and Carter's still super young, and the Jets are going to run the football a ton. So, all right. Nonetheless, that's going to sure it up. There's your mock draft for the night, ladies and gentlemen.
That was fun, man.
It is fun. It's a little bit more intense, huh? Let's see. We should have time to do some quick reviews here, but I want to start things off with I'm going to pause the chat at the top. You guys just let us know if you want me to take a look at your squad. Steven will give his thoughts too, but I'm going to look at Steven's squad to start things.
Yeah, be honest, because I mean, I really did not. I think I kind of lost things pretty quick.
I'll be honest. It's okay. I won't hurt your feelings. All right. Stevie boy. All right, so let's look at quarterbacks. We got Kyler, Levis, Cousins, staph infection. So obviously there's some fear here. I think you can definitely agree. Because if Levis does not step into an immediate role, then to start the season, you're relying on Cousins and Stafford.
Hell
I think
yeah, baby.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Levis is okay long term, and I'm not against Kyler by any means. But you got to back Kyler up with the right players, and down the stretch, right, you'll be able to play Kyler and Cousins this season, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just really queasy about Stafford. I don't have a problem drafting him in the 13th when you needed depth, but he just makes me queasy right now. Like you're hearing all kinds of reports on him. So
yeah, he might not actually play, but I'm hoping I get
Yeah,
one more year out of him just to kind of shore up until Kyler Murray's ready to go for the long term.
100%. Like, yeah, and that could be the situation you're in, right? I do think like it's okay. Like it's called a startup mock draft for a reason because like this is what you're starting your dynasty team up with, right? Like
Hmm.
you're gonna have rookie drafts every year where you're going to be able to replace quarterbacks. You're going to be able to navigate trades. I mean, we'll see. You have an odd history with trades, but um,
I don't
you
think
have
many people are going to be shopping for me.
you have like a mutiny against you in our dynasty league, by the way, to not trade with you. So
Nobody wants to trade with me, dude.
yeah. So there's a little bit of hesitancy around quarterback here. I wouldn't feel like 110% confidence with this room, but if Levis works out, like sooner rather than later, and Kyler gets back healthy, then like you're probably okay, like long term,
Hmm.
right? Because you're gonna have Kyler and Will, right? But it's just like immediately you might be in a tough position with Cousins and Stafford as your starters. All I'm
Yeah,
saying. So T Hawk and Waller is fine. I think Waller is like a decent value at 10.3, but I personally
dude, I
don't like.
love Waller, man. Don't
Oh,
even
I
talk
don't
shit
like
about
him.
that. I think this deal is
Don't like him.
awesome, bro. I think they are going to use him a shit ton in
Yeah,
New York, dude. He could be a stud
yeah,
there.
that's fine. I don't disagree, but the injury history and the fact he's going
Yeah,
to his ninth year just makes me queasy. Like, listen, I'm okay with Hawkinson and Waller because you get a lot of immediate upside. But the one
yeah.
note I would make is at the end of this draft, even if it's Hayden Hurst, Daniel Bellinger, Kate Otten, Ferguson, a rookie like Musgrave, Noah Fant, just somebody else, right? And he got put in a tough position. Like he could have gone in Conquo, who I know you really like, over Staph infection. Um, and I would have loved that, just to have that youthful tight end behind those two veterans. So
I do have a lot of problems for Nkonkwo. I think he's going to be a stud.
for sure. So that'd be my only note there. I would just at the end of your draft go for a rookie, go for a young guy. On top of those two veterans. Let's look at the receivers, though. Jamar, Cup, Jordan Addison, Godwin. Then he went Palmer, Renfro, which was an auto pick, but it's okay. Collins. I like this receiver room. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think seven's an okay number. You can even go to 8 or 9. In our real drafts, you'll probably be closer to 8 or 9 because we'll have a couple extra rounds. But I would say, like we said, Renfro was an auto pick for you. I would have got Mims or Tillman, just even like Marshall, maybe Osborne. Shaheed is available there too. Like just get a little bit more youth, but that was an auto pick, right? I'm just grading you off of an auto pick. So, but
Nico
Palmer,
Collins, though, what do you think about him? I
I was about to
like him
say,
there. I mean, John Mechie,
yeah,
obviously, a lot of people think he's going to step in there, but I think Nico Collins saw a lot of target usage once Cooks was out.
sure.
And so I think he could still be a big time player for them going forward.
I was going to say Palmer and Collins were very good value where you got them.
Yeah.
I like both those picks for you for sure at the end of the draft. So I don't really have a big problem with the receiver room. Like you had one auto pick in there. You're going to be starting Chase Cup and Godwin right away, and then you're going to hope Addison fits into a role, which I think we both think he will. Can be a player that you can flex for a long time, and hopefully step into one of your primary receiver slots. But being led by Chase and Cup, like you paid a pretty hefty price, excuse me, for Cup, but I think the receiver room looks pretty
Yeah.
solid for
Definitely
sure.
bought up for Cup. That was a little bit of an accident. I think that's where the draft
Yeah.
started to kind of get out of sorts there.
Well, you're just not entirely used to like the ADP of things.
Mhm.
If he didn't draft Cup there, I will say he would not been available at the next turn at all.
Yeah.
So if you wanted
I
him,
did want to lock up top receiver talent too, and I think Cooper Cup is going to be good for a while longer, and it's going to be regardless of who's at quarterback. So
yeah,
I honestly don't hate the pick there. It just would
sure.
have been nicer to like I would have loved to get Kelsey there. Now looking back, even though it is buying up on a tight end that's older, I think having the competitive advantage of Kelsey would really make a difference.
I have no beef. If you want to go out and get Kelsey and you want to ride
Yeah.
him until he retires, I don't care. I don't care if it doesn't make logical sense. If that's what you want to do in
Because I
Dynasty
could
League,
easily see
yeah,
him like in his like later stages. Like I could see him kind of moving into like a red zone target only where Mahomes just throws
sure.
10 plus touchdowns to him a year and he's just a
Sure.
red zone guy. Like I think he could really be in the league forever.
Sure, I agree. I have no beef with going Kelsey in a tight end premium league early at all.
Yeah.
Running backs. I don't have a problem with your running back room. I
Yeah.
like Acne, and I like Connor and Sanders behind him. Foreman and White were good value picks. So you could always sprinkle in another rookie, maybe somewhere in here. But overall, I think this is fine. Like I said, I don't put a ton of merit into the position and dynasty startup mocks because, like, uh, hopefully you're not in the coming years picking too close to the beginning of the draft unless you trade it. But year after year in your rookie drafts, you're going to see talent at the
Hmm.
running back position, and just the way the NFL is evolving right now, the value put on running backs super low, and teams just want the committee style approach unless they have a lot. I was about to say Christian McCaffrey is not even a good example because Kyle Shanahan still utilizes a second running back.
And a third
Uh,
sometimes.
yeah, so it's like it's just in order to keep these guys healthy as long as possible. And I just don't put as much merit into the running back position. So I'm okay at this running back room. But I would say another tight end sprinkled in here at the end of your draft will go a long ways. And just be very conscious if you do go Kyler as your first quarterback. You're going to have to make like some tough decisions, which I think you did to a degree by going Cousins in the 6th round. Um, but
I mean, yeah, Jordan, let me just ask a maybe an ignorant question here, but I mean, my approach with this was get you a guy that you think you can invest in long term, and then get some bridge guys over the next
that's
couple
fine.
of years, like some vets.
Sure.
And so that's kind of what I did here at the quarterback spot, where I think Kyler Murray could be a good long term snag. And then I got a guy
I
like
agree.
Will Levis that has the upside, but Kirk Cousins and Matt Stafford, I think Stafford maybe a little bit of a question mark, but Kirk Cousins I think has 2 or 3 really productive years maybe left, especially if he's
Sure.
still got Hawkinson and Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook and a great coaching mind in place there. So would you kind of like that approach in most situations? Not with my draft here in particular, but of getting bridge guys, but making sure that you've got a stud maybe in front. Or do
That's
you think it's all rookie base? Because this doesn't have a strong rookie base, but it has bridge guys maybe to supplement.
yeah. I don't think it's necessarily rookie based. I don't typically go after a guy like Bryce Young always, unless he just
Hmm.
falls at the right value, like I did tonight. Like if you want to invest in Kyler as your starting guy, that's fine. Um, I, I just personally like I want consistency, and that's all I really care about because you just have to think like you're starting 2 quarterbacks forever,
Yeah.
and it might not be like in my team, well, I think Burrow is probably a pretty good example, but it might not be Bryce Young and Pickett forever. But even if you can get a solid 4 to 5 years out of said quarterback, like you just need it in that super flex spot because if you're going up against a team that has, I don't know, let's say CJ Stroud really works out, right? Like
Hmm.
he's Justin Herbert level on the Colts, and like your life is great because of that. And J Dubs has Trevor Lawrence and CJ Stroud for the next coming like
Yeah.
6 years, and then you're playing him week 7, and you have Will Levis, who turns out to be the next Baker Mayfield. I don't know, but
Paxton Lynch.
yeah, and then Kyler's still hurt, like, and then
Yeah.
you have like Cousins who's like can barely throw a football. Like, you just have to think of long-term consistency, I guess is what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
with that being said, like I'm not totally against your quarterback room. I'm just saying for
Well,
me
no, I
personally,
guess I guess I just meant more of like bringing up the concept of the bridge approach with all positions,
sure,
whether it be running back. I mean, like I kind of took a bridge approach there with James Conner. Like honestly, I don't really
sure,
see a whole lot of long term growth from him. Same with Deontay
sure.
Foreman, but more of a
Yeah,
bridge approach until I get maybe a better draft pick at a running back spot.
yeah, 100%. There's always a balance. Like you can't draft 5 rookie running backs and like or like 3 rookie running backs and I don't know, like just 2 younger guys, right? Like
Yeah.
you have to have a balance, and I do think it is completely okay to have those veterans sprinkled in.
Hmm.
But there's just such a large emphasis on quarterback that like
Yeah.
if you don't hit on the right quarterbacks, like you can just be in a very, very bad spot for a long time until you work it out through rookie drafts or trades. So
I see J
uh,
Dubs talking about Daniel Jones. That was somebody I was so back and forth with Daniel Jones because I was like, I actually really love him.
yeah.
But there's like a good chance he doesn't work out. But honestly, if you look at the way Daniel Jones has been like kind of moving up the ladder these past couple of years, I think Daniel Jones could be a really good dynasty pick.
Oh,
So
for
I don't
sure.
disagree at all, J-Dubs. I was definitely thinking that as well.
Like if you look at it this way, if you went Kyler, Will Levis, then Danny Dimes at 5.10,
That's a
and
great pick.
and then either Hawkinson fell out to you at 6.3, or you just went like Kittle or Goddard at 6.3, I
Mhm.
would like this roster immensely more.
Yeah.
Um, so it's but if you
So
want,
you really don't have the love for Kirk Cousins.
I mean, I get what you're doing with him, but long term, you just have to think of it
Yeah.
long term as only.
Yeah.
But overall, for your first draft, I think it went okay.
Mhm.
Anything you want to add, or any thoughts on your draft as a whole?
No, I mean it was really kind of I liked the way I looked at it because now I can kind of see how I would have attacked it differently. There's definitely and now kind of being in that 10 spot too, there's a chance. And that's the thing, like I look at the 10 spot and I'm
It's
gonna be
not
so
great.
tempted to just grab my guy though because of how much I love him. And honestly, it's not a bad guy to like hitch your wagon to. It's just not
No,
a
no, no, no.
quarterback. But like, dude, like it is a little bit exciting that I could have Jamar Chase for a while because I want
For
him
sure.
everywhere. I think I'm just gonna
Yeah.
make sure I grab him on every team that I ever have again. But I mean,
I
like, yeah, it's definitely not the best pick in the world.
I think Chase at 1.10 is fine. I have no beef
Yeah,
with that. And it was interesting because, like I said, in most of these mocks, like at that turn there, like we're going to see Watson go, Prescott go, Young, Richardson, or Stroud go. Sometimes Tua go there as well. So Tua's kind of creeping back up in ADP because the Dolphins exercise fifth-year option. But you had more options than usual, and usually Kyler right now is sliding a little bit further back. But I like the fact that you reinforced Kyler's ADP tonight because I think it's
yeah.
a good pick. He has been someone I've been taking like if I go Burrow at 1.4 and Kyler's there at 2.9, I take him like in a heartbeat. So
Dude,
all right,
you having Burrow is you're a lucky man.
I do like Burrow right there. I'm happy. Like if I get Allen Hurts or Burrow, I'm okay. There's no way I don't get one of them. And even if I somehow, which makes no sense, didn't get one of them, I could go T Law and I'd be happy. I really like Lawrence a lot. Part of me is even like, man, Lawrence is young, but I won't pass on Burrow.
I would definitely take Herbert over Lawrence, but I do get your point. It's a hard conversation to have. That's a hard
It's
conversation to have between Herbert and Lawrence. That's a
that's a
whole like hour long
yeah,
conversation, probably.
that's a debate we've had on the stream for a
Yeah,
bit. And
that's a tough one.
recency biasy, right? Lawrence had the better season this last year than Herbert. If you went back a season, everyone would be saying Herbert for sure. So it's definitely got to me. I'm leaning a little bit T-Law, but it's definitely a thing.
You just like his hair.
They both have great hair.
Yeah. Didn't Herbert trim it at one point
Yeah.
or shave it at one point? That was a bad look.
Oh, I think he did. All right, let's try and fly through a couple teams here, then we'll wrap things up. All right, boss man, we got Prescott, Danny Dimes, Zach Wilson. I'm okay with Prescott and Jones. I mean, at a point, you got to take a flyer quarterback, right? I mean, who was available? No one really. Mike White, Thompson, and Minshew. So if you're going to go Wilson, so be it. But no one's going to feel good about it, right? So
he literally might not be in the league next year.
yeah.
I feel like nobody's gonna pick him up.
He hasn't even been cut yet. I think
See, the Colts have him on their team, dude.
he's gonna sit behind A-Rod. I mean, and collect his paychecks.
Dude, no, man. He's gonna make his life hell, bro. He's gonna make A-Rod's life hell.
That he might make Aaron Rodgers compete for a job. We'll see. Komet and McBride, I'm okay with. You can always go with the third tight end. It just depends. If you don't feel like the value's there, it's fine. I didn't go for a third one tonight, but I'm okay with Komet and McBride. I think they're two pretty solid picks, in my opinion.
You think Tanyan hurts him?
No. Komet will be fine. Teensy bit here and there, but he'll be fine. Bijan Gibbs is really nice. We're going to see where they land, but still really nice overall. Kamara kind of gets you that bridge player, like Steven was saying earlier. Still good value, even if he misses 8 games. If he misses a year, it kind of sucks. But Brian Robinson, a great value at 11.12. I know Pierre Strong is a guy you've been going after the end of drafts. I'm not going to, I'm not down on that at all. He's definitely, super young, going to be behind Ramondre, but James Robinson is there. But Pierre Strong has some really good work last season when they needed him, so I'm not against that. And McIntosh, I think that's a beautiful 18th round pick. Devonta Smith, Michael Pittman, Hopkins, Rondell Moore, Hyatt, Cooks, Shakir.
It's a good receiver.
Yeah, Shakir's been another guy you've been going after within the draft, so I think that's a good pick there. But I like Hyatt a lot personally. I think he holds a lot of upside, a little bit of risk, but a lot of upside. Cooks, went for a guy on your team. Okay with that. Moore and Hopkins is nice. Pittman and Smith is nice. So definitely like the receiver room. A lot of good youth at running back. I like the running back room. Tight ends I'm fine with. Quarterbacks I'm okay with too. You're going to need a little bit of tight end and quarterback depth down the road. But like, if you don't want to come out of your draft with it, if you think there's better value at running back and receiver, then so be it. So, yeah, I think this team's all right, man.
Dude, that running Robinson and Gibbs is just that could be
that's crazy.
That could be like absurd. Next 5 years.
It definitely could be. If those guys go to the right spot, that could be crazy for you. So, I like it. All right, Taylor, what we do tonight, my dude? We got Herbie fully loaded, Richardson and Geno. I'm okay with that. Unless Richardson does go to Seattle, then like you're kind of down a player, But I think really good value at quarterback here. Pitts and Otten. I'm okay with that. Could always go to I like Otten as a late round guy. You just got to think Baker dumped the ball off a ton to Higbee in those last couple games.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
And Otten showed a lot of promise with Brady. I like Cade Otten at the end of the draft. He's a guy, like if he was available at 16.9, I would have taken Otten for sure. So I'm okay with that. You can always go with the third tight end, but I'm okay with 2. Breece Hall, Monty, Dillon, Gibson, Mitchell, Penny, really nice running back value here. You could have considered sprinkling in a rookie, but you've still got a pretty youthful backfield led by Breece Hall. And then like Monty, Dillon, Gibson, Mitchell, Penny. I love the value you got to running back tonight. Debo, Quentin Johnson, Zay Flowers, Gabe Davis, Sky Moore, and Shaheed. A pretty good receiver room, all things considered. Debo makes me a little bit queasy. There's a couple other veterans I would rather see than him, but like at 5.6, he's still a good value. And you got Quentin Johnson and Flowers there. You got some good veteran presence too with Deontay and Gabe Davis. Then Sky Moore is a great value pick in my mind at age 22 going into the second season. Super disappointing rookie year, but
let's hope he does. Let's hope he turns out.
And I love Shaheed, man. Your last pick of the draft is beautiful.
He's fun.
So, yeah, man. A pretty good looking squad. How do you feel about it, my dude? All right, Mike. Does anyone call you Mike? Michael? I just called you Mike. We got Fields, Rogers, Hooker, White. I'm okay with it. If Hooker works out, I think you're in a pretty good spot here. But you're going to be starting Fields and Rogers to start things out. Super late round tight end strat tonight. Higbee, age 30, a lot older than I think, going into his 8th season. I still like Bellinger. I think he's worth taking with Waller's injury history. But I'd be slightly queasy in a tight end premium league with just those 2 guys. JT, ETN, Henry, Cook, Herbie, Evans. I like your running back room a lot. Could have considered another rookie back, but Evans is good value, and he kind of had to shore up tight end. I don't mind that you went quarterback there, even if it's Mike White. The idea there is that Tua is going to be hurt, and Mike White's going to step in, so gives you some immediate value. But overall, I like this running back room a lot, man. It's still pretty youthful, honestly. Metcalf, Judy, Kirk, DPJ, Keenan Allen, Zay Jones, a good receiver room. I would really advise you to stop drafting Christian Kirk and let him be on my team. But other than that, Steven, how old is Metcalf? I want to see how old do you think Metcalf is?
Is he 25?
He is 25, which is still super young.
I don't know how I knew that, but I knew he was super young coming out of college, and he was a freaky.
23. Kirk's a little bit older. I mean, 26, not too much older. So DPJ at 24. Like, you've got 4 young guys. Keenan Allen, obviously older at 30, and Jones at 27. So maybe.
But Keenan Allen could play for a long time too. It also depends on how these guys play the game. Like Keenan Allen literally could be an Edelman type of player and play late into a career.
Sure. So, yeah, overall, I think he got a lot of good value, but part of that value came from going, like, essentially 0 tight end. So just keep that in mind as well. All right. Going to try and speed through these. It's just fun talking football with Steven when he's on here. So, Hurts, Watson, Purdy, this is for Box and the Jack, and Duggan. I love this quarterback room. this is a really good position to be in my mind. I mean, you're led by Hurts. You got Watson there. You got Purdy there, who I believe in. Steven does too. I think Duggan's worth a dart throw.
Yeah.
Mandrews, Dolchich, Hendershot. I like the tight end room a lot. Hopefully Hendershot ends up being the guy, if not Ferguson. But I will put this out there. There's definitely a scenario where the Cowboys draft a tight end. It's a very deep tight end class. So keep that in mind too. But Pollard, Chubby, Algier, Jamal, Damian Harris. I'm okay with the running back room. Your younger guys are Pollard and Algier, obviously. Potentially sprinkle a rookie in here, maybe over Damian Harris. Even if it's like McIntosh or Deuce Vaughn, I think are good late round picks. But other than that, I like this running back room. Waddle, Cooper, Mike Williams, Mechie, Chark, Greggy Dortch, my guy. Pretty good receiver room overall. Obviously, Mechie is still pretty young at age 22. Waddle at age 24. And Cooper is not incredibly old, but he's still old at 28. Mike Williams, 28 as well. Chark, I mean, you just got to take best value on the boards. So maybe sprinkle in a rookie receiver. I'm not against Greg Dortch with Hopkins.
I like Dortch.
Yeah.
I think Dortch is going to be a good player.
For sure, with Rondo Moore's injury history, Hollywood's injury history, and Hopkins out the door, like Dortch was a guy who stepped up a lot last season. So, yeah, ultimately, this team doesn't like completely jump out on paper, but I think it's a good team. I think it's a well-built team and a good draft for you, my dude. JW, what we do tonight, man?
I like his team.
T-Law, Stroud, Sammy Howell, the best late-round quarterback value in startup drafts. Super young guy, too. Goddard, Musgrave, Ferguson. I'm good with both the quarterback and tight end room. Garrett Wilson, Watson, Moore, Burks, Robinson, and Hodgins, and Marshall. Good receiver room for sure.
Mm-hmm. Like Terrence Marshall.
Yeah, lots of youth there. I really like the receiver room. Swifty, White, Dobbins, Madison, and Holt. All things considered, man, and I'm telling you, Evan Hull is really, really creeping up in ADP right now. But overall, really good value on the running back position. Kind of took a similar approach to what Steve and I both did in terms of late round running back. Steven didn't hit one till the 9th. I didn't hit one till the 10th. But I think for not going RB till the 8th round, you got really nice value.
I like the Madison pick a lot. That was one that I was
sure
really wanting badly because I think he's going to be the future of a good offense.
I think this is a good team tonight, J-Dubs. Per usual, my dude. All right, let's see. I'm going to be skipping a couple things in the chat, just purely looking at what teams we need to go over here. We got Goff, Love, Tannehill, and Gardner Minshew for Taylor King. Long-term, a little bit queasy, but you're led by Goff and Love, so that's okay. Then you got two bridge guys, which is okay, too. And Njoku and Okonkwo, good tight end value for where you got these guys, and a good enough tight end room as well.
Yeah.
Brown, Lamb, Ayuk, Dotson, Tony, Myers, Gallup, Curtis Samuel, really nice receiver value tonight. Maybe would have liked to see a rookie sprinkled in there, but ultimately led by A.J. Brown and Lamb, then Ayuk as your third guy with Dotson and Tony still young. You're in a pretty good position here. Running backs, we got Barkley, Stevenson, Keandre Miller, CEH. A little bit thin at running back coming from a guy who goes pretty light at running back. Maybe just try to sprinkle in another rookie towards the end of your draft here. But yeah, ultimately, if Goff and Love work out for you, I think this team is pretty well built. And I think you got great receiver value tonight for sure. And even some pretty decent running back value too. All right. Godfather is up next. At the 1.1, he goes Patty Mahomes.
Yeah.
Jimmy G, Mayfield, Willis. Ooh, long term, I'd be a little queasy. I mean, you got Mahomes for sure.
Malik Willis, I don't know if he's ever going to be a QB, man.
I know there's definitely an argument to take him at some point, but it's still a little worrisome. Listen, you'd be fine for this year. You played Mahomes and Garoppolo, and then you have Mayfield as a backup option. Jelani Woods, Washington, Juwan Johnson. Man, for not going tight until the 12th, I think you got good value. I still want to stud early just because it is tight end premium, but I think you got pretty good value at the position. So Godfather is the one person who goes heavy running back early. So he goes Najee Harris, Austin Eckler, Damian Pierce, and then doesn't really touch running back until he goes Ibrahim towards the end.
It's a good pick too.
It is a great pick for sure.
Najee's kind of your guy. I'm not against that at all. Super young still, but a little bit younger than he might think, or excuse me, a little bit older than he might think for a third-year guy. But all things considered here, receiver, you still ended up with Amon-Ra, Pickens, Scary Terry, Bateman, can't guard Mike, Tillman, and Osborne. A pretty good receiver room at the end of the day. So I love Amon-Ra, 2.12. I almost went Amon-Ra over Bryce Young. So all things considered, I think you hit on pretty good value in this draft. And I like that you continue to have conviction and going heavy running back and that being part of your draft strategy. Steven's going to suffer in Dynasty trades.
I've already expected that, man. I'm not going to need no trades. I'll find somebody to step on a landmine of mine, I'm sure.
All right, let me see here. Okay, good. Michael says Mike is cool. Just trying to catch up here. All right, J-Dubs asks, team of the night. Gosh, you guys keep asking me this, and like I think of a team when I'm going over teams and I forget.
Honestly, I like J-Dub's team the best, to be honest. I think I see a lot of value on that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say that as well. We'll go J-Dubs for the night. I think you hit a ton of good value, but you guys all did well tonight. So very quickly, then we're gonna have to wrap up here. But I went with Burrow, Young, Pickett, Freiermuth, and Ingram. Olave, Adams, JSN, Lockett, Lazard, Pierce,
That's a
Rice,
good team, John. That's a good team.
Jones, Cook, Gainwell, McBride, Carter, and Deuce Vaughn. I actually like this team quite a bit.
Yeah,
I feel good about this squad.
Actually, John, low-key, that might be the best team here. I really love Chris Olave. Like, I would be in love with him kind of long-term. So,
sure.
This is a solid draft. You ever see Chris Olave fall back to the fourth or not much?
Oh, no way. No way.
Yeah.
I love Olave right there with Adams, JSN, Lockett, Lazard, Pierre. I love this team. I'll leave it at that. All right, guys, if you guys want further community review, make sure to post your teams on our Discord, and we'll give you more feedback as well as feedback from everyone in the community, not just who drafted tonight. So I do have to wrap up, so we will go ahead and finish things out. Make sure you guys hit that like button on the way out. Hit that subscribe button, of course, if you guys are new to the channel. Check out the links down below, man. Follow us on Instagram and join the Discord.
Shout out.
Can't join as a member, unfortunately, but still want to play in Dynasty League. Okay, no worries, man. Just hit me up on Discord and we'll figure it out, man. But I appreciate super chat for the night. Thank you so much, man. So anything else we need to say? I don't think so. So thank you guys for coming out tonight. Thank you guys for mock drafting. And Steven, any thoughts, any final things you want to touch on for your first startup mock draft for the year?
I got more to learn, man. I got more to learn, and I'm excited though. This is definitely fun, and I'm excited to kind of have a team that I can grow with over the next coming years. Right, this is the first time obviously doing Dynasty for both of us, so definitely pretty pumped for it. I've wanted to do Dynasty for a long time.
For sure, man. I'm pumped. I think we got a great group of members in League One and in League Two. Guys, in League Two, there's just one remaining spot. So make sure if you guys are interested and you want that final spot, that's the final spot for the year. Just hit me up on Discord. We'll figure it out. So have to be active YouTube member to be part of the Dynasty Leagues. But if something, I don't know, comes up, we'll figure something out. So just hit me up and we'll figure that out. But super excited for this year's Dynasty Leagues. Excited to have Steven here with us, of course. And I'm just looking forward to continuing to grow as a community with you guys. And yeah, man, appreciate you guys tonight. Have a good night, Jane. I see you keep popping up. Good night, Jane. But yeah, man, super excited for the Dynasty season. Super excited for a draft. And appreciate you guys who got this draft put together with us tonight. So Jano, Godfather, Taylor, Bossman, J-Dubs, Michael, Box in the Jack, Thomas, Albert, and everyone else who stopped by, everyone else who hung out tonight, listened in. Thank you guys so much for spending part of your night here at the channel. That'll do it for the night. There's another 2023 Dynasty Fantasy Football Startup Mock Draft in the books. Hit the like, check out the links down below, subscribe, do all that stuff. And love you guys, man. Love this community, love the Catch fam. With that, Steve and I will both be signing off, and I will say Thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on The Catch. And
Peace.